True Story Tuesday. Brenda got a baby. The true story behind Tupac's 1992 hit, Brenda got a baby. On April 21st, 1991, 19-year-old actor rapper Tupac Shakur was in New York working on his film Juice when he ran across the article in the New York Times. The New York Daily News correction. The article was titled Cries in the Night. It will go on to tell the story of a 12-year-old girl who had been essayed by a family member, cousin, and she hid her pregnancy from her family. Delivered the baby on the floor of an apartment. The apartment was called Noble Drew Ally Apartments in Brownsville, New York, a public housing project. She wrapped the infant in a like a plastic bag, and threw it down the garbage chute. Now, a few hours later, the maintenance man by the name of MacArthur Williams was going to get ready to take out the trash when he heard a very high pitched cry. Of course, he go up inside the garbage chute and he discovers a baby. He describes how the baby wasn't breathing, still sticky, cold to the touch, had slight blood on it, leaves and things, and it was just like numb until he rubbed the baby's stomach, and then the baby started to squirm. That's when he wrapped the baby up in his clothing, his jacket, and he called the 911. Now, upon discovering this, my boy Tupac here was like, hey, I need a half an hour alone. And he went in there, he got him a pen and pad, and he went to writing. Now, within a half hour, he had given Omar Epps, who was 17 at the time, the pad that he had been writing on, and it gave the lyrics to the song which he created, Brenda Got a Baby. The lyrics on the paper were, she didn't know what to keep and what to throw away. She wrapped the baby up and threw it in the trash. I guess she thought she'd get away without hearing the cry. She didn't realize how much the baby had her eyes. And that's when he named the song Brenda Got a Baby. Now, 7 months later, this album dropped. What it was, Tupac Lost Now. But the album didn't do so good with the 13 track. But that very one track, Brenda Got a Baby, took over. So, over 30 years later, Jeff Pearlman became interested in this case. Basically, it wasn't a case, it was that he wanted to know, were they still alive? Was this really a true story? Did this even exist? And where are these people now? So, in typical investigation style, he hit up a classmate from high school who was known to be an outstanding researcher. Asked her, like, hey, what can you do if you're looking for somebody without any kind of name, any kind of info? Like, how can we figure out if they even exist? And a few weeks later, his homegirl hit him up with the name Davonn Hodges. Like, Davonn Hodges, Jeff, like, who is Davonn? She like, look, Jeff, I don't know, but it might be Brenda's baby. So on March the 21st, 2023, Jeff Pearlman dives in and reaches out to Davonn Hodges. No, he just go in firing guns, hey, asking questions, hey, are you from here? Did you do this? Were you doing that? Okay, and hey, where did they find you in a trash can? Devon was like, I'm gonna call you back tomorrow. And tomorrow he called Jeff back, okay? Within 2 weeks, Devon and Jeff was meeting up at a cafe in Las Vegas, where Devon was currently residing. Meet Devon Hodges, Brenda's baby. Devon just could not believe it. He was in awe, Jeff said. Devon was like, he was raised in Crown Heights section of Brooklyn up until the age of 13 when his family relocated to Las Vegas because the family wanted to retire in the Delta. Because the family wanted to retire in the desert. Now, Devon said he was never told by his parents what really happened to him, but he was told that he was adopted due to traumatic circumstances. So, on March of 2022, that's when Devon started to do the Ancestry.com and find out who he really was because he knew he was adopted. He wanted to know who his people were. So, of course, eventually Devon finds out about family members right in Brooklyn, cousins, auntie, uncle, and they go, like Antoine Fisher style, basically, is what the article said, so that he could go and meet his people. They were all still staying in Brownsville at the same housing project. the noble Drew Ali. They showed him the trash chute. He took a look inside and understood like, hey, this was my life. He had a cousin that was telling him about the song Brenda had a baby. Letting him know, like, hey, cuz, do you know that's you in that song? I think that's you. He's like, what, really? You think that's me? That's when he got on the search for his mom. But the family had told them ever since she was 12, she ran away and they ain't seen her since. Now that part startled me because they hadn't seen the 12-year-old baby since she got rid of her baby in the trash. Ay, ay, ay. So of course, Jeff and Davonn get on the search again. Jeff hit his homegirl up who can find some of anybody. And of course, within a couple weeks, homegirl Michelle got a phone number for who we think Miss Brenda is. Now, I couldn't get any information beside the fact that her name is Jeanette. No pictures, no last name, anything. They tried reaching out to Jeanette twice. She wasn't answering. So Michelle did some old slick like manipulation like, hey girl, how you doing? Sent her a text message. It's been a long time. Instantly then Jeanette called like, hey, who is this? Michelle's like, this Michelle. She wanted to know how she had found her, and Michelle dropped it off and bombshell style letting her know, hey, we found your baby, Davonn. It was on from there, screaming, crying. I mean, Jeanette was ecstatic because she had wanted to know what had happened to her baby all them years. She really thought she had unalived her baby. Now, y'all, the killer and the coincidence to this story is when they called Jeanette, she was at a Red Hot Chili Pepper concert, she said. And Michelle was like, okay, what a concert at? And Jeanette was like, Las Vegas. God was really working. So of course they met at the lobby where they was holding the concert, Jeanette and Davonn, and they had hours of long life conversations like they had been knowing each other for years. They're reuniting and feeling so good. It just made me feel so good inside. I shedded a tear. Now Jeanette had told them, Davonn, that basically when they found you, they found me. When they took you to the hospital, they had came and got me as well, and you kind of like healed me back up. But she did not mention in the article where she went from there and why she went missing. But she did say she did get a chance to hold him, and she did get a chance to name him Davonn. And she even got Davonn tattooed, and he said he could notice that it was old and faded out, but she did have the tattoo of Davonn on her arm, her right arm. She told him she had been looking for him like for years with no luck, to where she finally gave up. Now it was even said, y'all, that this all was supposed to work out full circle. This was a tragic thing, but it worked out full circle because it even said that they was only a couple blocks down from where Tupac was unalive in Vegas. Isn't it ironic? After all of this happened, Jeff Pearlman said that he did reach out to Tupac's former business manager to let them know that the song Brenda Got a Baby reunited Davonn and Jeanette as one again, and how his song really touched souls. This was such a blessing. And oh yes, I'm sorry I didn't drop the date. They reunited in 2025, just last year. Blessings.